Felipe Zamora here from Installer Not here, interviewing Ben Roudolph from Microsoft, working in the Windows Phone section. Hi Ben, what's up?
How you doing?
All right. So, what do you do exactly?
So my official title is Director of Windows Phone Evangelist, and I think I've got the best job in the whole business group. My program is just designed to get Windows Phone in front of real people, so they can experience it. I mean, Windows Phone, as you know, it's very different.
Yeah, the Metro UI.
The Metro UI is very different. So when people see that, at first, they don't really know what to do with it.
Yeah.
And then you actually start using it and saying, oh, well, here's my me tile. Here's how I can post a message to all my social networks. Look, I've got the weather pin. Here's my wife. I can just tap on her thing and I can see what her Facebook profile is. I can see her whole wall. I can see all this stuff. And when you start showing people how integrated things are,
it's more about
it makes
discovery.
sense to them.
Yeah.
The way that I explain it is like there's this Chinese proverb, actually, that says, I hear and I forget. I see and I understand. I do and I remember.
Yeah.
And this is all about doing.
Yeah.
So things like the $100 challenge that I'm doing today, where we're challenging people head to head, and if your phone beats my phone in a common task that we do every day, you get $100 cash. If you lose, all you have to do is say that you got smoked by Windows phones. And it's not a thing that we're doing to go out and bash Android or iPhone or BlackBerry. It's just to show people that the notion of what they have in their head is what's easy or what's fast. They may not see the whole picture.
Yeah.
So this is a way to show how we're doing things differently, and in a lot of ways we're doing them better.
So what got Metro UI started?
You know, I really need to talk to a guy named Albert Schoen, who's kind of the father of the design language, to really get the backstory on that. But you know, the heart of Windows Phone and Metro are kind of linked, which is how do you create something that's maximally functional but also extremely beautiful? It's a very simple aesthetic, but there's no wasted space. Everything is there for a reason. The tiles are big and beautiful, and they're very easy to touch and to select, but they also can be alive, have real-time information to keep you connected to the stuff and the people that you care about.
What got you interested in Metro UI?
So for me personally, my background, my education's in art, not in tech. I have an art history degree from George Washington University in DC. I've always been into technology. I was a beta tester for Windows 95. I've been a tech guy for a long, long time. But as a student of art, you know, the aesthetic design, the industrial design, particularly the hardware, is really interesting to me. So when I saw something like Metro, and I saw how beautiful and minimalist design that's highly functional, that became very interesting to me. When you put it on a really beautiful device like this, is an HTC Titan, or the new Nokia's, like the Lumia series, the 710, the 800, the 900. Nokia does a beautiful job of making something covetable. So there's this quote that I always like to use. Is this guy named Jay Mays. He's the chief designer for Ford Motor Company. And he said, somebody asked him about, like, well, you know, how do you make a car beautiful? How do you know if it's beautiful? And he said, anybody can make a toaster that makes toast. They all make toast. Very few people can make a toaster something that you covet, that you want. And that's hard to do, right? And it's difficult. Like somebody like Dyson has done a great job. They make covetable vacuum cleaners. They're just vacuum cleaners, but they're beautiful, and you see them and you're like, oh man, I want one. And Nokia does that with their phones. Like, you could say it's just a phone. There are thousands and thousands of different kinds of smartphones. But you pick up that Lumia, and you see those live tiles and that beautiful chassis, you feel the polycarbonate, the texture, the weight, the balance, and you say, it's something special. Like, it just feels right. So for me, as like an art guy, that matters.
Yeah.
Like, the tech is crazy and amazing and beautiful in itself. Being able to fuse that technology with something so beautiful, that's really cool to me.
How do you get other people interested, as interested as you are in Metro UI? What do you see in people's reactions or anything around?
It's usually surprise. You know, like we said earlier, people look at it and they're like, "Well, it's really cool. I don't get it." Then they touch it, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
So much of it is you need to experience it. You can't just see it on TV. You can't just read about it in a newspaper or on a blog. That might get you interested, but if you really want to experience the things that the Metro UI can do, that Windows Phone can do, that the hardware can do, you have to go to a store and you got to pick one up, or find a friend who has one and borrow it. You need to touch it, and once you touch it, it makes sense.
How do employees at Microsoft describe Metro UI, or what are their personal experiences with it, and how easy it like?
I think the thing that you're seeing across the company, so you've seen Metro and how beautiful it is in Windows Phone, You've seen a new Xbox dashboard. You see it's coming to Windows 8. Is this really, the whole company's kind of rallying around Metro as a design language and as a principle. So when you see it, it's instantly recognizable as something Microsoft.
Yeah. What were the key points in the design of Metro? I know you weren't as knowledgeable in that subject, but what did you see when they were designing it? What big themes that they started? Oh, that's cool. Like, what did you see that they started?
Well, I think for me, I mean, when I look at the UI, it's, as I said earlier, like it's about being beautifully functional. You've got this beautiful grid that's really centered around people and experiences, but every pixel matters. Every pixel is there to be beautiful, but also to be functional, and that's hard to do. You're an aspiring coder. Like, you're going to learn how hard that is as you get into school and you start doing it. Like, anybody can write code. I could teach an 8-year-old how to write code, but being able to see what that code can return into in the real world and something that people appreciate and love, that's something special. If you can do that, and I believe that guys, our leadership team, guys like Joe Belfiore and Terry Meyerson and Albert and all the engineers that work in that organization, they see that. And that's something that Microsoft does so well. And we've done well for 35 years now. Wow. Through Windows, through Office, through Xbox, through Windows Phone, that you can't just make something that works. You got to make something that works and that people want to work with.
How do they get inspired to make the design of the actual phone?
It's we have to talk to our hardware partners about it. I know when I look at a phone, it's there's this very interesting intersection. If you know what a Venn diagram is, with overlapping circles. Yeah. Well, if you've got a couple of circles, you've got beauty, you've got ergonomics, you've got weight, you've got balance, and somewhere in the middle of those things, and they're probably somebody like Albert or somebody like Marco Artisari's chief designer from Nokia would probably say, "You're completely wrong. This is what it means." But to me, that's what it means. Like, does it feel good in your hand? Are the buttons in the right spot? Can I use it well? Does it feel nice in terms of weight and balance? Are the materials the right thing? And somewhere in the middle is this little pocket of awesome. And it's very difficult to find that. Because if you're a couple degrees off one way or the other, it's not quite right. You pick up a phone, I don't want to pick this one up because I actually love this phone, but you pick it up, or a phone, or a tablet, or a PC, or you drive a car, and you're like, gosh, it's really good if they just changed this thing, and that one little thing annoys you forever. So to build something like the Lumia series, where there's really nothing wrong with it, like you touch it and you're like, wow, it's like as close to industrial perfection as like I think you can get. And then you've got this beautiful UI and beautiful software on top of it. I mean, that's very difficult, and that requires a certain brain to look at that, but a certain foresight too, to be able to build one product like that works for millions of different people who are different sizes, have different eyesights, different ethnicities and cultural backgrounds for what is and what is not appropriate. Like, there are so many things to think about.
Yeah. Going a little bit off topic, how do you see people's reactions with the Microsoft and Nokia partnership? How has that played out in people's faces?
Largely, it's been very positive.
Yeah.
You've got the biggest phone manufacturer in the world. You've got Microsoft, which is undeniably the leader in software technology, coming together to build something incredible. And that can only mean good things.
How has Nokia partnered with Microsoft, and like, what have you seen them do to team up and meld and create phones or Metro?
I think all you have to do is look at the phones, right? And then it's like I say that half jokingly, but the proof is in that Lumia 800. It's in that 900 where you pick it up and you go, this is just good. It's just a good thing. So, our engineers work with their engineers. We work across marketing, across business development, across engineering, across PR. It's been great so far. And to think about that, it was not that many months ago where that partnership was just coming together, and now you're starting to see beautiful handsets already. Oh yeah, that's pretty impressive stuff, I think.
Well, I've heard rumors about Windows Phone 8. Is there any validity to Windows Phone 8 or any of that sort, or is it just?
The only thing I can talk about right now are the phones that we've got in our hands, and they are awesome, as you know.
Do you know of any future? Like, other than Windows Phone 8, like, what else do you guys think you guys are going to implement in Windows Phone 7?
It's hard to say. I mean, that's something you really need to talk to the engineers about. I mean, it's, as you know, like, we can't give away all of our secrets.
Yeah.
What I can tell you is that there are a lot of people back in Redmond working really hard on a lot of really awesome stuff.
Can't wait to see it.